Today, it's a special day. We're gonna check out the video that you guys have been recommending to me for a while. It is this one. It's 𝗦eci, every single Warhammer 40k faction explained. Someone in my live stream mentioned 40k, that it's very cool. I was skeptical because I thought it was like, I don't know, just a strategy game, and I'm not that into strategy games, and I didn't understand it. And then I started watching a couple of cinematics, and I was getting more and more like my brain was getting a little bit more like expanded, and I was getting a little bit of the wow feeling, like not the game, but like wow. I am making this video as a pretty new person in Warhammer, so almost everything is new to me, and I hope this guy is gonna like teach me the way of the hammer, the Warhammer. Maybe we should just jump into it, check it out, start to like learn. I'm super curious. I got my cup of coffee. I'm ready to deep dive into Warhammer.
As someone who doesn't necessarily serve the 𝗦eci, but someone who can appreciate them, you will not be getting my legs today, as I will be replacing them with various things depending on which faction we are currently talking about to add a little
Oh my god, he's changing his legs to like each faction. I love it.
Context and possible comedy to whatever the hell I am currently doing.
He's looking good.
So, hello everybody, my name is 𝗦eci, and this is going to be a long video and a large project that has been going on for quite some time. This is, I need two hands for this. This is every single Warhammer 40k race in kind of a nutshell, explained, a little bit of explanation, a little bit of lore, a little bit of talking about the tabletop, mostly lore, what they're all about, and also a little bit of background for those of you who just have no clue what Warhammer 40,000 is. Now you see, Warhammer and Warhammer 40,000 is a universe people hear plenty of, but don't know a whole lot.
Look at his face. It's so like insane. Just the face is insane.
About. They see, oh, there's these dudes in big power armor with chainsaw swords, and they got these big old green orcs, and there's some bugs over there, and everyone calls these guys weebs, and then there's these spiky bitches over here, and I don't get it. I don't understand. Where do I start? Well, this video...
Yes! This is the perfect video for me. Where the hell do I start? It's an interesting universe. It's a lot of weird stuff going on, as he like just showed me, but also, it's interesting. It's interesting.
Is particularly for you, or for those of you who have a little bit of knowledge, but you're kind of curious about each of the different races and factions in Warhammer.
Wow.
So overall, the Warhammer universe is vast when it comes to lore and background, and each different faction is so different with the things that they believe in, and some are human, some are transhuman, like where they all have all these...
What the hell is this? He's starting to explain it though, but it looks insanely cool.
Crazy ass electronics on them. You've got aliens, and you've got the chaos factions, and there's so
that monster thing looks insanely cool. What the hell? Oh my god! And he has the huge bell on the side. I don't know why, but that is very like satisfying with the bell. And that sword is not just a regular sword; it's a badass sword. He's like having all his intestines just like raining on his troops. Just like fuel them, I guess. Here you got some food from a belly. This is insane. Wow. His tongue is even like insane. It looks like his tongue has a head that has a tongue. I'm probably saying tongue wrong, but holy shit.
So much to entail that I decided to embark on this project to tell you what each and every single one of them is about, and what the Warhammer universe is about as well.
Tell me.
To give at least a little bit of an intro to this extremely bloated but very, very enjoyable world that I and many others partake in. So, I will be explaining every single faction in the Warhammer 40k universe.
Space Marines are down there.
All the factions you can play as, and some smaller factions here and there. I will not be discussing absolutely everything in it, because that is a little bit much, and I'm not going to go too mega deep into the lore. I'm going to give you a pretty solid overview of each of the different factions, and have you learn a little bit about them, and we'll discuss a little bit of the tabletop as well, in case you are curious about them.
I'm curious. I want to learn everything, man. Or maybe not everything, because my head would just like explode, but I'm very curious to learn like a lot. And also, I'm so sorry if I'm talking too softly. It's just that my my girlfriend is putting my daughter to bed, 8 months old. So I'm trying not to like disturb them too much, you know. I don't, or like it's kind of difficult to get time to film this video because it's so long. So I think it's too long for my stream to handle a reaction video that is an hour long. And yeah, so I'm doing this on a Saturday in the morning. I'm trying to be efficient, and I'm trying to give you guys what you guys have been asking for, because I love you guys. You guys are awesome, and thank you so much for like sharing Warhammer with me. I appreciate it. And let's go back to the video. I'm sorry for talking so much.
But for this episode entirely,
and if you want to like subscribe or like or whatever, I would appreciate that as well. And if you have like some extra information, you share it with me in the comments. I love reading Warhammer comments. Oh my god, you guys are fantastic. I know I'm like saying that you guys are so good, but then some of you are saying, no, everyone in Warhammer is bad, because everything in Warhammer is kind of bad. So there's people that wants to be bad boys, and I appreciate that also. It makes it more fun. Thank you very much, and I love you. Mwah!
We are discussing the Imperium of Man, because that takes up a fat chunk of Warhammer lore.
Okay, so now we're getting into the facts.
What is Warhammer 40,000?
Yeah, what the hell is Warhammer
40,000 starts off is the year 40,000, the 41st millennium.
Why does this spaceship kind of thing look like the machine guns they are using? It looks just like that, or very close. Is that random, or is it not? Asking for a friend.
Millennium, that's where it takes place, is in the year 40,000, 41,000 AD. You're already more knowledgeable. Let me read you a quote,
so it's the
first
year.
of many quotes in this video. It is the 41st millennium. For more than 100 years, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods, and master of 1,000,000 worlds by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He is a rotting carcass, writhing invisibly with power from the dark age of technology.
What?
He is the carrion lord of the Imperium, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day so that he may never truly die. To be a man in such times is to be amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. These are the tales of those times. Forget the power of technology and science.
My hands. I'm getting goosebumps. Whoa. I'm not sure if you can see it. Maybe you can't. No, because it focuses on my face. But I'm getting goosebumps over my entire body. He's like a rotting carcass sitting there, feeding on souls and being like held like alive by sacrifice, basically, and technology. Holy shit. And this one emperor is controlling the entire universe kind of thing. It's just so much, man. It's just so much. I'm getting like over it. It's already like so epic and much for my brain. Holy shit. I managed to like skip somewhere, so we'll see.
1,000 souls are sacrificed every day so that he may never truly die. To be a man in such times is to be amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. These are the tales of those times. Forget the power of technology and science, for so much has been forgotten, never to be relearned. Forget the promise of progress and understanding, for in the grim, dark future, there is only war. There is no peace amongst the stars, only an eternity of carnage and slaughter, and the laughter of thirsting gods.
What?
Everything blows. And it blows fucking hard. Warhammer is probably...
Wow, everything blows and everything blows so fucking hard. Yeah, as I understand it, it's not like... I thought, like, going into Warhammer, I thought, oh my god, the Space Marines are like the heroes. And then you have the enemies, which are like either orcs or maybe like something like this, something crazy. But as I understand it, everyone is bad. That is kind of mind-fucking, because I'm used to there always being this good guy, you know? So it's crazy. But they're kind of good, but they are really bad. So what the hell?
the most dark and depressing universes ever in fiction, or at least like top 3. Everything is so absurdly horrible, destructive, or overpowered that it all kind of ends up canceling itself out. It's like Dota. War rages across the galaxy. Interstellar travel is only possible due to sacrificing 1,000 souls a day to a rotting carcass of a man who you believe to be—
Is that the Emperor? The Emperor is so nasty. What the hell? He's getting like pumped up. And look at that chest and that face. This is just... I want to have Warhammer 40k as like all my screensavers now. I'm sorry, my daughter. I'm sorry, my girlfriend. But we need to do Warhammer wallpapers. I think if in the house we're gonna buy, I think we're gonna put in like Warhammer like on the walls. This is just so cool.
Be your god. Demonic gods and just demons tear open the fabric of reality on a whim. Other Xenos or even other humans end up killing each other in untold billions across the galaxy.
Billions?
It is a time of unending war, slaughter, and a bloodbath amongst everybody. Planets are deemed unrecoverable and are completely destroyed on a whim.
Whoa, look at that. Look at that. That is just fucked up. They're just destroying an entire planet. Just like, that one is fucked. Let's just that planet.
Sucks. But that's like the charm of it.
Yeah, it's also very cool. This is very hard to explain in the comments on YouTube, but whenever people tell me like the most horrific things, I'm thinking like, that is horrible, but also I'm intrigued. Give me more. It's weird.
Everything in Warhammer is evil. But being evil is kind of fun. Like, humanity in its own right is a xenophobic, prejudice, and religious zealot group that kill each other just—
Does he have the Bible on his back, on a spear, on a banner, and skulls burning, and he has a chainsaw thing, and he has even a pirate like thing on his face? That is just like, it's crazy upon crazy upon crazy upon crazy upon crazy, and it's so cool. I love it.
Just as much as they kill all of their enemies. And they're like mid to high tier evil on the evil scale of Warhammer. Nobody is good. No matter who you are, everyone is some flavor, some color of evil. Whoever you pick, you are going to be the bad guy. But that's the fun of it. Because being the bad guy is badass. Villains are cool. They look cool, they got cool outfits, they got cool weapons, they got cool armies. Villains are cool, man.
Yeah,
and
villains
when
are cool.
Everyone is a villain, everyone is pretty cool. That's what makes this so charming, is that everyone can be the bad guy. So let's start off talking about the main bad guy.
Is there a single good guy in this universe? I'm asking for a friend again, because that would be interesting to like hear the story about the actual good guy. But I guess if you're a good guy here, you won't probably, like, your race or whatever, your faction, will probably not survive because it's so horrific. Oh my god, I love it.
Quote unquote, the Imperium of Man.
Imperium of Man.
The Imperium of Man is the main empire of the human race. All of humanity is under this one flag called the Imperium.
That is kind of interesting. I'm sorry for pausing so much, but if I didn't pause and give my opinion, why the hell would I make this video, right? But it is kind of crazy. Like, if you just think about the current world that we live in, so the humans has been able to like get combined into one entity, which is very, very interesting. And it's like, it gives it another level of like epicness and weirdness and like awesomeness and brutality, because you just know that by having one faction under the human banner, it is most probably a horrific place. Most probably. It's some wild, awful man on top, or a girl. Probably a man, because men is probably more crazy. You know?
About 10,000
Sorry to you girls that I'm not calling you crazy. I'm so sorry, but men are crazy.
ago, there was a man. He was the Emperor of Mankind,
Whoa.
a 10-foot tall psychic demigod
No.
who led humanity across the stars to colonize tons and tons of worlds, create superhuman soldiers.
Okay, so they did kind of have a good guy. No, maybe he is not a good guy. He's probably done some horrific things, but I feel like, okay, maybe I'm just guessing here that mankind kinda like, okay, we want to be like one part because this guy is so awesome, because it is like that in the world, I guess. Like, you get this really good or like really like a charismatic person that can combine people, or like get them to want to be part of the gang. Either he turned evil or someone else took over. It's always like the son that is just a douchebag that takes over. Let's see.
And really bring humanity into a new age. This man, the Emperor of Mankind, was
now it's looking pretty evil.
A psyker is like a magician of sorts. In the world of 40k, there is the warp, the immaterium, kind of like hell, but sort of like a purgatory dimension of hell. And a psyker is someone who can take that power and manifest it through their mind to use it to do stuff. Like witchcraft stuff, magician stuff, spell.
I can like kinda think that this is almost like a necromancer in a way, because necromancers, they can like I think they can like take things from like the underworld, bring them back up, bring the dead back up, use the power from the underworld. So it is similar, but it's different. So here you have the warp, that is like a different dimension. So it's not like in the core of Earth, which does make sense. It's more like a different dimension, and then you can drag out the power from there. That is wild. That is wild. I'm learning.
And lots of other things, but we don't want to get too into that.
And here, it's just so cool. Like this guy, it basically looks like he is from Nazi Germany. I guess it's not random that a lot of like things here has this kind of Nazi Germany like vibe. Also the eagle up here in the background, it's very Nazi Germany-esque. And that makes it even more interesting, because who doesn't like to play Call of Duty Zombies or something like that? Okay, maybe you don't, but I do. It's just like an intriguing theme with the Nazis. It's just intriguing in a horrific way, you know. But yeah, makes sense. Warhammer, horrific. Nazi Germany, horrific. Oh, let's combine them. My mind. It's understanding.
And lots of other things, but we don't want to get too into that. The Emperor, big boy psyker, top tier, A+, maybe even S. Now, the Emperor created a bunch of sons. Yes, created a bunch of sons known as the Primarchs. He created 20.
Primarchs, okay.
18 Primarchs to have them lead all of the different legions of humanity to the different...
Now I want to play the game, the tabletop game. I need to find a friend that wants to play it with me. Because the characters are so goddamn epic. It's not like a little bit epic. It's just so epic that I want to like throw up and jump into the air at the same time. It's just so insane.
Stars and planets to help colonize.
Thank you so much for recommending this.
These Primarchs are basically like little versions of the Emperor. Not all of them are psychers, but a lot of them are very, very powerful, and they lead his special Space Marine legions.
My God.
Then this big cluster...
Okay, so they are leading his special Space Marine units or something. Does that mean that you have like the Emperor, then you have the... what were they called? Something with P. And the Emperor's sons, basically, they're under there, and then you have the Space Marines, like armies of Space Marines that they are commanding. This is how it's like set up, I guess. They're like commanders.
Fuck happened called the Horus Heresy, where the Emperor's favorite son, the Primarch Horus, ended up joining Chaos and leading 9 of the 18, half of his Primarchs directly.
Primarchs. I need to try and remember that. Primarchs. It sounds like Primark, which is a store, right? Primarchs. But that is wild. Okay, so I reacted to the cinematic. You can check it out on my YouTube page of the Horus. When he like goes over or whatever. That is wild. That is so wild. Half of his sons went to the other side. But I guess there's only bad sides. But wild.
Earth to fight down the Emperor himself. Now, if you want to know what chaos is, remember what I mentioned earlier? The warp, that Imperium, the hellish place?
Wow.
In there relies the 4 chaos gods.
Whoa.
Imagine like Satan and 3 other Satans.
No! So it's not enough to have 1 Satan. You gotta have 4. I love it. And I need to take a second just to like take in what these 4 are. Okay, so you have this on top left. Looks kind of like Diabolos or something like that. Some proper devil king. And then on the top right, it looks like something that does have some powers that are just like insane. That are maybe more of a magician, kind of nasty, but so cool. And then you have the fat boy down in the left. I'm so sorry, but he's huge, and he has like teeth around his head, and he is like boiling some nasty soup. I love this. And then you have the sexy lady that looks sexy, but turns out she's gonna kill you. And everything, all the worlds probably. Wow. This is probably who like lured in the Horus. Was that his name? It was probably her. He probably did something with her. I can feel it. I can feel it in my belly.
The warp being kind of evil, those chaos gods, that's the reason.
Wow.
And so those chaos gods manipulated Horus, and then Horus helped manipulate all...
Wow. Give me I want to see that picture again.
Those chaos gods, that's the reason. And so those chaos gods manipulated Horus, and then Horus...
What the fuck is this? What is this? He has like a king with a crown up top there. This... What the hell? And he's so huge. And the axe, how small the Marines are compared to him. Is that the Marines? They're so small. And then you have like these hanging from his chains that are just impaled, and like half of their body is ripped off. This is just so wild. This is I want to just like live not in this world, but I want to live in this universe in my brain. Like, is there a way for me to just like hook up my brain into this and just experience it for like intensely experience it for as like a fly on the wall for a couple of hours? I feel like this video is giving me a little bit of that, so I understand now why you guys wanted me to see this, because I feel like I get the option to dive into the universe and just like, it's so hard to explain it, but maybe you as a Warhammer like expert I'm just pretending all of you are experts in it. Maybe you understand what I mean. It's just so intense, the feeling of wanting to just like, I want to watch 10 movies of this and I want to play 20 games. It is just so well done. I feel like almost all other like universes and games and like movies and histories and stuff like that is just bland compared to this. This is just so good. Oh, and I'm not just saying this to say this. I mean it. Just, it's so detailed and well done. And horrific, and I like horrific stuff. Like, I want to watch more horrific stuff. It sounds bad, but yeah, it's just so entertaining to me. And my girlfriend doesn't want to watch things like that. She wants to watch more good, feel-good kind of things, comedies and stuff like that. So thank you guys for letting me explore this world.
Just help manipulate all 8 other Primarchs to lead this giant coup directly on the Emperor on Earth. And they fucked up shit. After this huge civil war, Horus died, but not before. He died?
Okay, so he's out of the game, maybe.
Brutally wounding the Emperor, and right at the end of his life, they put the Emperor on this large...
Is that how he became this horrific monster of an emperor? And that is that golden guy? Holy shit.
Golden throne on Earth, in which he is now alive, just barely, but slowly rotting away, powering something called the Astra Militarum, so long as he stays alive, and is fed 1,000 people a day. The Astra Militarum...
Oh my god, can't wait to understand why he is so important, that is powering something that is making him worth having alive. Holy shit. Except like probably that he's a legend guy from long ago and they want to keep their legend guy. But what the hell? That's just wild. And can he like give commands and speak and stuff like that? Is he like still controlling the universe? Asking for a friend. I hope I'm gonna get some good answers in the comments.
Khan is like the North Star. If you want to do interstellar travel in 40k, you need to pass through that demonic warp I mentioned earlier. But how do you know where you're going? Well, the Emperor is there putting a nice little navigator right there. He helps navigate you to know where you're going. If you want to go from Earth to some crazy solar system across the way, you need to...
So he is insanely useful. Well, now I understand. Like, if this universe is already so, like, cruel and evil and everything, then offering 1,000 souls of the billions of people you got, probably not a big deal to them. Probably. It would have been a big deal to us, of course, but not to them.
Go through that warp,
crazy.
And then you need to know where you're going, go through there, and pop your way out. It's like doing nether travel in Minecraft, so you can shorten the distance between going to areas.
Yes,
so long
like
as the
Minecraft.
Emperor is alive and being fed 1,000 people a day to stay alive, you can do that. The moment he dies, interstellar travel's gone for all of humanity. You're so boned. Now, since the Horus Heresy 10,000 years ago, the Imperium has fallen from grace substantially. All technology has started to dwindle and die. There is now giant fundamental religious extremists that now believe the Emperor of Mankind was a deity, a true living god, which is probably the last thing the Emperor would have wanted to be remembered for. So now you have this thing called the Ecclesiarchy, which is this giant church.
The Ecclesiarchy. Okay, the Ecclesiarchy. I need to try and remember this. It's kind of difficult though, but I'm this kind of person that needs to like hear it a billion times, and then it's gonna start to stick. So I'm sorry that I ruined like the words.
Entirely devoted to spreading the good word of the Emperor. He is now the Holy Emperor God, the God Emperor of mankind, and all of the Imperium has taken...
Damn! Holy shit! That is making things like 10... This is also like one of those things where they just 10x things. It's just like, it was crazy, and then we find a way to like make it 10 times as crazy. When you have like people that are like fanatics, then it starts to get like really fucked up, you know? I'm sorry for the light in my face here. It's sun outside and I'm sitting next to a window. It's a long story. We're not gonna go into it right now. I'm trying my best.
Taken up worshiping him to the fullest extent and killing anything that isn't humanity in his name. The Imperium has this futuristic Gothic tone to it and a hefty religious zealotry to them. If you think anything against the Emperor, that's heresy and you deserve to die. That is called being a heretic. Heretics die in...
Well, it is, since I'm not an English native speaker, I didn't really like connect the heretic and heresy and what it meant in this universe. But now I'm starting to understand. So it's the non-believers, basically. They're heretics and they need to die, of course. Damn.
40k. There is no such thing as freedom of religion. There is no such...
What the fuck is that device? What is that? Huh? What? Ooh.
Thing as freedom of speech, so long as you are against the Emperor. There is no such thing as any kind of tolerance. Everyone is a religious zealot. Some more than others, but
especially
no matter what,
this guy.
You're preaching that good word. So right now, everyone in humanity is trying to expand their empire across the stars. If you are a heretic, someone who doesn't believe in the Emperor, you are deserving of death. If you believe in the Chaos Gods, you are also a heretic and you deserve death. If you are an alien race of any kind, you are a filthy Xenos and you deserve death as well. So long as the murder continues and humanity expands, the Imperium of Man is very, very happy.
Okay, so there's no one else. There's nothing else than just like them and their religion and their Emperor God. There's nothing else. Nothing else matters. Just like continue to expand, to like take over, destroy, and delete everything else. That is just wild. And that is like, that is 40k. That is 40k. It's just over the top. It's so crazy.
However, the largest fighting force of this Imperium is my personal favorite faction. And the first faction we will discuss, the Astra Militarum, or also known as the Imperial Guard.
The Astra Militarum. Imperial Guard. Wow. They look a lot like
the Imperial
Nazis.
Guard is the main fighting force.
Has the same like feel to it because they're just like, whoa, and the like the outfits and stuff. But I guess it's kind of like war outfits. Maybe it's just me.
Of the Imperium, and in a world of horrifying creatures, galactic monstrosities, the literal demons themselves breaking through the fabric of time to kill you, the Imperial Guard are untold billions of regular men and women wearing modern day like flak armor with a laser rifle. This is the humble las gun.
The las gun. But okay, so this is his favorite faction. It sounds like there are some insane monsters or like soldiers with the Space Marines and stuff like that. But he feels like this is his favorite. That's very interesting. And this is like regular Joe. This is Joe and Andy and Greta or something that are like combining together to fight. That is so cool, but it is kind of an underdog kind of situation, it feels like, and that makes them even more cooler and more interesting.
The main weapon of the Imperial Guard. It fires superheated plasma lasers at an extremely fast fire rate. It is reliable, never jams. It can blow off limbs, giant holes in concrete. It is overall an extremely devastating weapon in modern day. It is one of the weakest in the 40k universe.
No, is that real? Just like, it's so good, they can do all of this, but it's the weakest.
Yeah, a laser rifle that never jams, it could blow off limbs, one of the weakest weapons. That's the world we're in right now. But who
this
cares?
world is great.
Because the Imperial Guard has, in each battle, 500,000 of these men and women. 30,000.
500,000 in each? Whoa!
Large armored tanks, 10,000 artillery batteries. The Imperial Guard wins through sheer numbers and firepower. They kind of have this World War I.
This has this kind of like a Russian vibe, you know, because I've heard that like Russia is known for just like throwing like people on the problem. They're just like yeah, it's just so many people in the war that they win. Or have a tendency to win wars. And in like, was it World War II that they didn't have enough weapons for the people, so they just had like multiple guys after each other. The first one in line had a weapon. He was like fighting for his life and his country, and then when he died, the next one just picked up the weapon and started like working on the war. So I feel like this has this kind of vibe where it's just like, we're gonna win in numbers, man. That is so crazy. I'm gonna see if I can do something with the window. It's just too much light coming through. Just give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Fixed the light issue.
World War II style aesthetic with legions of guardsmen as well as high company commanders and generals on the field along with them and multiple kinds of troops. A normal Imperial Guard battle starts off with artillery, long lines of artillery.
It starts off with artillery. That is so cool. Wow. And they have these banners, man. Of course. They're religious fanatics. Of course. And he is reading his Bible. The artillery is gonna rain on you. You heretic.
Taking the crust of the planet underneath the enemy's feet. And as this barrage continues, hundreds of thousands of guardsmen, a sea of guardsmen surges forward, firing and charging at everything possible while the planet rumbles as tanks roll up behind them. Gunships.
How he's like explaining it is giving me goosebumps again. It's like the planet is rumbling. The planet is rumbling while the tanks are advancing. It's just like, that's so much power. That's so many tanks.
Block out the sun, and tanks block out the dirt with the steps and hoof prints of millions of guardsmen. It is through numbers and sheer sundering firepower. They are the first and last line of defense for the Imperium and make up a huge bulk of the battles. The Imperial Guard is also made up of tons of different kinds of regiments. The Catachan jungle fighters live in a...
That is basically Rambo, right?
death world that's more hospitable than almost any firefight they'll ever get into. So they just have this steroid-looking, giant knife, Rambo Predator-looking sons of bitches, where nothing is anywhere near as scary as a simple knight on their home planet. You have the Valhallan winter soldiers who haven't felt their toes in 300 years.
Oh my god, that is so cool! Of course they have themes. Oh. What the hell? They haven't felt their toes in hundreds of years. And this Napoleon fighter?
The Mordian Iron Guard, who are more interested in making their shoes shine than actually fighting a battle.
No, they even have that? Wow.
And then, of course, the big one, the Cadians from Cadia.
Cadians from Cadia?
The biggest export of guardsmen in the entirety of the Imperium. You will fire your first gun at 5. You will disassemble and reassemble it at 10. You will have pounding artillery drills day in and day out at 15. And you'll fight your first Swarm Lord at 16. And if you mention Cadia...
At 16? And you're ready to fight your first Swarm Lord? What the hell?
You will burst into an unrelenting amount of tears and sadness like I do daily. To quote, I have at my command an entire battle group of the Imperial Guard, 50 regiments including specialized drop troops, stealthers, mechanized formations, armored companies, combat engineers, and mobile artillery. Over 500,000 fighting men and 30,000 tanks and artillery pieces are mine to command. Emperor, show mercy to the fool that stands against me, for I shall not. The Imperial Guard are my personal favorite faction in 40k. They're the army I collect the most, the ones I enjoy.
Getting goosebumps. So many goosebumps. It is just so much power.
Playing the most, and the one I enjoy in the lore sense a lot. There's something about just a regular man with a laser rifle being told to charge the horrors of this universe and willingly doing so for his god emperor. It's just poetic. They actually represent the main Imperial Guard tactics pretty well. Large amounts of artillery that doesn't require a line of sight, lots of tanks, tons of infantry, drop troops, and gunships. Overall, they're pretty similar to how they sound, though a little bit expensive to collect, unfortunately. And they don't hit a lot. They have a bit of a bad aim, but you don't really care because you're just drowning them in shots. However, if you want more accurate fire and specialization, we can move on to talk about Space Marines.
Space Marines. It's Space Marines, right?
The Angels of Death are up next. Space Marines are genetically engineered super soldiers and superhumans. They're given extra organs, their skin tissue is toughened, their bones are stronger, they're taller than the average person. They're pretty massive people, and these are the specialized...
These are the ones I've heard the most about, but I guess they are like the face of Warhammer, right?
Super soldiers that carry out a lot of the more specific tasks for the Imperium. And there's tons of legions of them. In fact, there's one per Primarch. Each Primarch, the Emperor's son, as I mentioned.
So there is basically a theme under each Primarch that probably has like different attributes.
Before,
I like it.
Oversees their legion of Space Marines. The genetic upgrade they get is based on the genes of said Primarch. It's something called a gene seed. That's what brings them up to this like superhuman level. As stated, each Primarch has their own legion. Robot Girly Man has the Ultramarines. Jagatai Khan has the White Scars. Rogel Dorn has the Imperial Fists. Corvus Corax has the Raven Guard.
He has claws.
And there's a whole bunch of other side sections that are also extremely interesting and have a little bit more of a twist on the average Space Marines, which we will discuss.
I'm sorry if you hear any crying in the background. It's just my daughter waking up, probably. But maybe she is falling asleep again. We'll see. Maybe.
Discuss in a bit. Humorously enough, I don't have a whole lot to say about Space Marines. They're superhumanly fast. In fact, it's been said that nothing that large should move that quick. These men in power are moving at blazing fast speeds. Their reflexes are faster. Their skin is tougher. They are overall just extremely powerful soldiers. In fact, where they differ comes down to which Space Marine Legion we're talking about. For instance, the Ultramarines done by Robot Gilliman are the...
It's not easy. So much information so fast. And it's kind of crazy that he doesn't have that much to say about the Space Marines when it seems like Space Marines are like the face, as I said earlier. Also, in the comments on my YouTube page, there has been so much cool information about Space Marines. Like, yeah, it's just wild. It's wild. Like their weaponry, their genetics, like that, how epic it is, like how insane it is. They're just superhumans. And also the thing, it's not super putting me off, but it's putting me off a little bit that they're so huge and moving so fast. It's just like there is a disconnect in my brain. I'm not it can't comprehend, you know? It's just wild.
The main blue boy, strong in almost every way, the jack of all trades kind of group that are a little bit too strong, and that's a lore problem, but the White Scars by Jagatai Khan.
Oh, there is a glitch here.
Are all about speed freaks. Go.
Whoa! These are... Oh, what is that movie called again? When they're in the desert and it's just like crazy. This guy is like chained to the front of the thing. Oh, I don't remember. But this is giving me that kind of feel almost.
Fast. We're talking attack bikes. We're talking land speeders.
Attack
you want
bikes.
to go in quick.
So
you
cool.
want to hit them hard. You want them to be swarming around like buzzflies. Buzz saws.
Buzz.
With the speed of buzz saws.
Sounds epic, bro.
Fuck you, Pale King. Salamanders love fire. Fire in the forge.
Salamanders.
Fire in battle. Flamers, melta guns, multi-meltas. Just so long as something can be burning, that's big. And they're also actually some of the nicest of the Space Marines. A lot of Space Marines have this kind of like holier-than-thou thing because of their genetic strength. However, the Salamanders tend to put human lives above the lives of themselves, which is actually rather rare.
That seems like, yeah, like that is like very, very unique in this universe, it seems like, that anyone is caring about anyone else than themselves.
They're also all black.
Wow.
But not like just regular black, like 2 a.m. line at a White Castle black. Like they have a charcoal, dark, ashy exterior.
Whoa. That is probably because they love fire. They're burnt. They're burnt. They're really burnt. Maybe? Or not?
Blazing red eyes.
Whoa.
Apparently something about living on their home planet of Nocturne, which I don't know if that makes much sense, but who cares? This is like fantasy land anyway. Overall, Salamanders are actually one of my personal favorite legions because they're just really cool. They're fun to play as because of all their flamer weapons, and they have a nice, like, more heartwarming lore as opposed to being super evil like everyone else is.
Very cool.
Oh my god, we're not even
They're insanely cool. Wow.
Quarter of the way through the Space Marine legions. Imperial Fists believe in the power of the siege and defensive positions. Raven Guards, master of stealth and sabotage while having burn helmets. Iron Hands, masters of machines and vehicles while being really goddamn good at being sold on eBay after one nerf. Space Wolves. Vikings and wolves and tons of wolves and axes, battle axes, fur everywhere, space wolves, angry, big teeth, blood angels, the genetic defect to make them want to drink blood and go crazy called the red thirst. They have
For real? Is this like the vampires of the gang? That is wild and so cool. And they can fly. Can vampires fly? Looks like I think there's a
Cupid
thing
wings
there.
and stuff, which is a little bit strange, and they are all super gay for Sanguinius. Dark Angels are old school.
So that is a thing also. Damn. There's love in here? Wow.
It's an inner circle theme, and...
Are you a heretic?
Me? No, never. Once in a blue moon, I know.
Me, no,
Death
never.
Watch, fancy pantsy anti-Xenos group that nobody plays because Death Watch, and they look cool though, but no one plays them. I don't know about Death Watch. They're there though. Black Templars for the people who, if you haven't prayed at least 3 times a day, you're gonna start praying out that airlock. And I'm sure there's some other chapters I may have missed as well, like Crimson Fist and stuff. But those are the main ones right here. Here. Quote from the Emperor himself. They shall be my finest warriors, these men who give of themselves to me. Like clay I shall mold them, and in the furnace of war I shall forge them. They shall be of iron will and steely sinew. In great armor I shall clad them, and with the mightiest weapons shall they be armed. They will be untouched by plague or disease, no sickness shall blight them. They shall have such tactics, strategies, and machines that no foe will best them in battle.
Wow.
They are my bulwark against the terror. They are my defenders of humanity. They are my space marines, and they shall know no fear. And on the tabletop,
Whoa.
they fuck. Oh, they fuck hard. As of making this video, Space Marine...
They fuck hard. Damn, boy. Damn. That is very cool. I just love that they're over the top, and then they take the top and they make it even more over the top. And I love it. That is just so epic.
Are laughably strong. That might change at some point, but overall, Space Marines just have it's like a Swiss Army knife, a tool for anything you need, except it's like a gold-plated Swiss Army knife. It is extremely strong. If you are actually getting into the tabletop of Warhammer, Space Marines are a great start. Also, whatever gameplay style you have, whether you want to be sit back with long range and heavy weaponry, go fast and run in, or even just full melee, all of these options are totally there for you. Space Marines are super badass, but unfortunately, it's time we start praying to our new god, the 2011 Honda Civic.
So is it
The 2011 Honda Civic. What the hell? Oh, the Adeptus Mechanicus. I like that they have us.
any wonder people are afraid of technology?
Technology!
Oh, they are the technology like race kind of thing, faction. Oh, this is gonna be cool. I just know it's gonna be cool, and it's gonna be like some wild information here.
The Adeptus Mechanicus. The Adeptus Mechanicus are a technophile cult on Mars. Now, these people are a little bit weird because they don't...
Look at the shotgun this guy has, or whatever it is. It just looks so wild. And their faces, it's so cool. Holy shit, it's already one of my favorites.
actually really believe in the Emperor of Mankind. And you might think, oh, whoa,
you don't
Berkey,
believe in the
that
Emperor.
sounds like some heresy.
It does. But this is not heresy. What the hell is heresy then?
A little bit. They believe in the Emperor, they believe in his power, but they don't pray to him. They pray to something called the 𝗦ci𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀. And the 𝗦ci𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 is this kind of machine god that they believe permeates in all machines. And if you think, well, wait a minute, they believe in a different god as well? That sounds like super heresy.
gods?
Well, yes-ish.
They're the Hindus.
But they also make all your guns, and they make all your tanks,
Ah,
and they make everything that you have.
okay. Then we have some
So you
some
can't
reason.
really tell them to fuck off,
Uh-huh.
because you're not gonna win nothing if you don't got stuff to shoot people with. See, their 𝗦ci𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀 at least makes sense from their standpoint. They believe it to be a deity that permeates through all machines. Your Honda Civic, your standard bolt gun, your Dune Strider Walker, your giant mechs, your huge ships. The 𝗦ci𝗰𝗶𝗃 is present through all. And the only reason your stuff works is because the machine's spirit in it says it works. If you want your gun to work, your tank to run, you must pray to it. And I mean full stop. You need to start chanting in high Gothic. You need to burn incense. You need to sit on your knees.
Oh, this is so cool and so fudged up, man. Wow. And also, like this guy on the left, I'm pretty sure this is the same kind of guy as it was in the armoring of a Space Marine video. He has like the claw on the top of his head there, and they have like this priest kind of look. It is so cool. Maybe I will start to believe that there are like a godly being in my computer now. And also behind here, as you can see on the backside of this one, why is there a lady clawing to this man's robe? And also, why is she so small compared to this like mechanical monster human being? Or is it not a human? It's just like the height difference is ginormous. And also look at this, his like tentacles out of his mouth. It is just insanely cool. Maybe I'm a little bit too like hung up on the visuals here, but it's so cool. And with combining that with like what he's saying is so mind-blowing and so cool. Holy moly.
And pray to that car. You need to rub oil on your robes, and you need to go, full stop. If you want your
I'm just gonna get some water to my coffee. I got half a cup. It's not enough.
damn thing to work.
Okay,
if you
go
want
back.
your gun to fire, you need to do that. They are very bizarre, and
that was wild. I was just doing a quick AFK to get some water in my coffee, just to have like coffee. I'm just enjoying coffee and this so much right now. But anyway, when I was like away, it was strange. It was so nice to get back to watching this. It just like warms my entire body. It's so fascinating. I just love it so much. Thank you guys so much for like recommending this to me. It's just so good.
they actually have a bit of a point because it's obviously working. And
Yeah, it is
if you
working.
Look at them, I don't
Seems
know
like-
how that works. So they obviously know something about what they're doing. The most
Whoa.
notable member of the Adeptus Mechanicus is Archmagos, whatever, Belisarius
What?
Hall. Look at this dude.
Is
Look at
this the
Yeah.
map?
This is the group we're talking about. These are these weirdos. Here.
Whoa.
The Omnissian Creed. The credo.
Credo,
Omnissiah.
credo.
There is no truth in flesh, only betrayal. There is no strength in flesh, only weakness.
Whoa.
There is no constancy in flesh, only decay. There is no certainty in flesh, but death.
Ooh, goosebumps again. It's just so, it is kind of true though, right? Because machinery is very strong. There's more strength in machinery. It can last for longer. Whoa. I can see how it's like very possible to build a faction around this. Wow.
Flesh is weakness, flesh is
Cool.
death. The Omnissiah is the god of the machines, and if you wish to be whole, if you wish to be holy, if you wish to give unto him, you must saw
Whoa.
down your limbs and remove your organs and replace them with mechanical parts, because that is what he wants, and that is how you will become enlightened.
Whoa,
Hard-
okay, so now you just took it to another level, dude. Oh my god. That is just wild. Okay, so these mechanical mech people, Mechanitus, they are, how much percentage of them are still humans or like have organs and stuff? Or do they have 0 organs? And how do they have a soul? Is it all like artificial intelligence kind of a thing? What is going on here? Asking for a friend. Maybe you have some more information about this. It's just crazy.
Hard technophiles mixed with religious extremism.
Bam!
Mechanicus. Now, for their army side of things,
Mechanicus.
they are with the Scutari. The Scutari operate with very bizarre weaponry and
Whoa.
lots of different kinds of vehicles, tanks, and different people in between. They're very weird, but they have extremely
They're
wacky
very
and
weird.
enjoyable, and in fact quite effective both in the real game and in the lore, weaponry and gear. Overall,
Cool.
as an
What
army
the
on the
hell?
tabletop,
Look at
they're
that.
very weird and have a whole bunch
Wow.
of different shenanigans. But if
Wow.
you like kind of that quirky, wacky techno thing, I'd give them a pickup. Hell, they're so paranoid. I gotta keep going. They're so paranoid and crazy. These Dune Striders you see right here, one
Whoa.
guy was able to make them work. One guy, and he died. And they're so scared they'll never work again that they keep them on and they never turn them off, and they run around in a circle the whole time until they need.
No, they they do? That is a fun fact. That is a very fun fact. Wow.
them, and then they corral it and they go into battle. Yep. The Adeptus Mechanicus. Now, if you want to talk
Wow.
about faith, though.
Just like we were so scared of this not turning on next time we want to use it. That is wild. Holy shit. I'm sorry again if you can hear screaming. It's just Tsar getting changed. We are filming this like Saturday morning though, to get it in, like to be able to do it. And it just is what it is, okay? I'm so sorry. It's not torture. It's just a diaper change.
Cool. Let's talk about the Sisters of Battle.
The Sisters
Simp has fallen for an eagle in
of Battle?
City.
Wow.
The Sisters of Battle of the Adeptus
Cool.
Sororitas, if that's how I pronounce it correctly.
They are looking
is an
very cool.
all-female group of battle sisters going through the ecclesiarchy section.
It is almost like in I think I might be wrong, but I think it's almost like in the Viking ages. We had like shield maidens or whatever here in like the Nordics, with like really insanely battle-ready strong girls. I'm pretty sure.
Of the Imperium. The ecclesiarchy is, of course, the church. This is, imagine a private army of the church.
Oh.
Which is scary.
Yeah.
And it is.
That
the
is scary.
sisters are an extremely zealous.
That is looking fucked up. Here it's like, it has this kind of thing where, like, is it some kind of Christianity where you're supposed to like punish yourself a lot? And that is how you show that you're serious about your god or whatever. Seems like that kind of a thing. It gag ball with like spikes. Fudge. Next level, man.
This force. And they take this to a full extreme. They believe in 3 main things: faith, martyrdom, and fire. Through the bolter, the flamer, and the melta, the Sisters of Battle are extremely potent at taking out chaos and heretics. Mainly heretics, because as they are a fighting section of the ecclesiarchy church, that's the big thing they want to kill. Any form of heretic will face the Emperor's justice through those 3 main weapons: the bolter, the flamer, and the melta, and they will do so with extreme prejudice.
Whoa.
Literally. They are the closest things we have to nuns in space. And I'm talking hardcore nuns. They carry holy fire on their backs. They have holy books and sigils all across their armor. Their main battle tank is a fucking pipe organ.
No. It's a pipe organ? The main battle tank? Just imagine like how can I explain this? Just imagine going into the battlefield and you have this like huge pipe organ. The vibe is just like, this is God, we're doing the right thing, everybody else has to die, we are almighty, we are powerful, and just like the general vibe of the battlefield when they are marching forward, that is probably the ultimate like motivation to do like killing and murdering and all of those things. It's just like so strong. It's not like if you like compare it to something that is like weaker, where it's like, I'm not sure about if this is the right thing to do, and there's just like chaos and mayhem. But this is like, it is focused, it is with intent, it is with like so much baggage in the bag. Holy shit, so powerful. But it's lunacy, but they're getting rid of heretics.
Missile launcher. They have small babies that they have like removed their brain capacity to make them little servant sheriffs.
I saw this in the armoring of the Space Marine. They were like working there, and people told me about them in the comments. They're just like, it's so nasty. It's so wild and nasty.
To fly around and give them ammunition and shit.
Holy shit.
Drop churches from low orbit as mini drop pods onto battles. They drop churches into battle.
It's just like, what the fuck? That is wild. What kind of drugs did the people go on that figured this like lore out? This is just like insanely cool. They're dropping churches. I've never thought about dropping buildings ever, like as part of an army. What?
Battles. And they blare war hymns and holy music from their frigates in low atmosphere and shower holy water across the battlefield. These are the people you are dealing with, and they're fucking awesome. They can literally stave off demons on the tabletop because their faith is that strong. Remember the warp, the demons from the warp? Well, the warp also manifests in your mind. All of your emotions, negative and positive, go through the warp. It's the immaterium, the place of all things. So if you are that mentally fortified, that mentally strong, you can stave off horrifying demons. And all these girls, not a crack. Not a crack in that mental armor. Now, as much as a meme as...
Holy fudge. Holy fudge. Pretty accurate there. What the hell? That is so cool.
They are, and as much as their models look a lot like Ongo Gabloglian, which I can't unsee anymore. I gotta say, I love their design. I think they're extremely cool.
That
They're
is
another
so
army that
cool.
I'm currently collecting.
Now, I never thought I was gonna say this. I don't see myself as a person that collects like physical things at all, but I'm starting to want to buy some figurines and paint them. Holy shit, it's so cool. I just imagine sitting there by myself with some like crazy music and just like something that fits, and then just like imagining and like seeing like what they could have been doing like out in space, out in the universe. It's just like everything is so over the top that I'm curious, I'm interested, I'm blown away.
They just released a whole new line of figures very recently, and they look wonderful. Everything from Celestine, the living, literally undying saint, from the Triumph of Saint Catherine, which is literally a funeral procession as a model. Those organ tanks I mentioned earlier. This shit is the most over-the-top badassery in a lot of the Warhammer universe, and goddamn it, is it over the top.
God.
But
So
Sisters of Battle are so cool. While I'm a guardsman at heart, this is such a cool faction. By Bolter Shell, Flamer Burst, and Melta Blast, the mutant, the heretic, and the traitor alike are cleansed of their sin of existence. So it has been for 5 millennia, so shall it be until the end of time. And speaking of burning demons,
I can see
the Grey Knights.
The Grey Knights are the first army I actually collected back in 7th edition. The Grey Knights are a super secretive and much more old school look at power armored knights, except they are all psychers. All of them.
They're all psychers. They looked like kind of more like, okay, so we're not that advanced, but we're like very bulky and strong. But they're psychers? Wow.
Have that crazy space magic magician shit.
Whoa.
For every 100,000 guardsmen,
huge! This guy looks huge.
There's one Grey Knight. For every 10,000 Sisters of Battle, there's one Grey Knight. For every
So they're very few. Wow, but they're probably insanely strong.
1,000 Space Marines, there's one Grey Knight. Grey Knights are the strongest of the strong, both in mental will and absolute just strength. These are Space Marines that are all high-level psychers, all of them able to specifically do one goal, and that is kill demons. The Emperor believed that the demons of chaos were the #1 threat to the Imperium, and he probably is right. However, this group is entirely based on doing that through a myriad of tactics. Coming from the planet, or I guess the moon, of Titan in the Sol system, the Grey Knights are thrown through extremely rigorous training and are as clear of mind and soul as they possibly can be. Since the demons of the warp are the warp and your mind projects to the warp, people can go insane very fast, especially lower level psychers. These Grey Knights need to be able to harness the warp in the presence of demons and stay perfectly sane. One of their characters, one of my favorite characters, is named Castellan Crow. He has a demon blade, the black blade of Mahamahama.
Mahamahama. Why did it have to be a funny name? Oh no.
And he has to have it on him because it tempts everyone nearby, constantly beckoning them. Use my power, use my strength, suck my penis. Whatever the
Okay, we're there.
possibility. And so he has to keep it
on
him all the time as this thing whispers to him consistently. And he has to stave it off forever, being alone in his chambers or on the battlefield, because anyone who gets too close to it might be tempted a little too hard. He is that pure of heart and mind.
Yeah, so like, does he have the sword to like constantly work on being like perfect in his mind, like perfectly like focused? Is that the reason? Am I understanding it correctly, or is it because he doesn't want other people to have it because then they are gonna be too tempted? Wild.
And all the characters in the Grey Knights are basically like that. The only issue is that Grey Knights have a scorched earth policy, More ways than
They have a scorched earth policy. He puts it forward as such a strange thing. It's like very like A4. Wow.
one. If they're fighting demons, demons corrupt and make people crazy. So if I'm a guardsman and I'm fighting demons and the Grey Knights arrive
Those are demons.
and they kill all the demons, I'm a risk. And so guess who's not making it out of there? On the
Whoa,
tabletop,
so they just
very
like kill
strike
everybody? Wow.
fast strike hard kind of people. They teleport all around the place. They are fast strike groups, small amounts of models because they're so
Whoa.
dang strong. You only have so many characters, but with it, you get in there, you're very tough, very tanky, you hit really hard, and you try to bounce around the battlefield quickly, but you don't have numbers, and so every dead Grey Knight hits really damn hard.
Yeah.
They're fun, though, if you like that kind of fast striking kind of army. Oh, and also, Caldor Drago is a thing. We're not even going to get into Caldor Drago. All right, that is, oh my goodness.
I'm
gracious.
curious.
I am the hammer. I am the mail about his fist. I am the spear in his hand. Though we are lost, I am the shield on his arm. I am the flight of his arrows. I am the hammer. I am the sword. I am the shield. I am a soldier at the battle at the end of time.
Damn.
Grey Knights are
Strong.
pretty hardcore. They are as holy as you can get for a Space Marine. If you like Space Marines and you want to, you know that they're holy enough, you want to be holier, Grey Knights. And if you want to be holier and big, let's talk Imperial Knights.
What? What? Whoa. What? This looks crazy.
Do you like gigantic walkers the size of homes or
Whoa.
medium-sized buildings? Do you want to kill heretics, but you want to kill like 40 of them per turn? Do you want a gigantic old-school knight noble house style of walkers with giant chainsaw arms? Then you got
What the
Imperial Knights.
hell?
Imperial Knights, it's not a whole lot to talk about them because they're just gigantic walkers, but they have this old-school like
Wild.
house feel to them, like literally.
Yeah, it's like proper knights with the like long lances, and they're just dun, 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 but a lot more like gruesome. Yeah, you can see like their house shield here, I guess, or crest or whatever. Wow.
There are houses. Each Imperial Knight comes from a house, and each of them act in their own special way.
Are these kind of like I'm not sure how to like say it, but these are individuals. I guess they're not human, or maybe they have some human aspects to them. I feel like the other races, they're very much like relatable in the form of like being like a form of a human, a form of a demon, something like this. But is this a pure machine, or is it some kind of soul in there? I'm curious. I'm curious. Is this Peter and the other one Adam? What is going on?
Way.
Asking for a friend.
Behemoth of walkers also destroy
Whoa.
almost everything in their path, killing
Oh,
full
he got
swaths of
wrecked.
squads in a couple shots,
Whoa.
stepping on legions of troops. Like, these things do not mess around.
Wow.
And they look so cool. Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights, actually, for that matter, don't have a whole lot to discuss. They're just
Chaos
super
Knights.
big, heavy walkers, and they look different depending on your house or chaos god you currently believe in. And overall, these things are just really cool if you want to
Wow.
murder everything in your path. They're the big, scary, big unit of Warhammer, and if you want to collect them, go to town. They make for a great painting project too.
Wow,
Getting more
I
back down to
believe it.
earth. Let's talk something about a little bit different, a little more
Wow.
gold.
A little bit more gold.
If guardsmen are regular soldiers,
Wow.
Space Marines are super soldiers,
Yeah.
Grey Knights are super soldiers, the Adeptus
Are these super soldiers?
Custodes are super soldiers cubed. The Adeptus Custodes are the third major army I own. I know, 3 armies. I know, I got carried away, okay? But that's all. I only have
Wow.
3, okay?
Wow.
They are our final
I'm so curious also to get into like understanding more about the actual figurines and the games.
brand of Space Marines, but these ones are...
Oh my god, now I really wanted to do something. Like, I'm not sure if I want to like play the tabletop game or not, because I don't have anyone to play it with, I think. Maybe one of my friends, maybe. But I now really want to, when we move into the new house, have a cabinet behind me with glass windows where I can have like my painted figurines. That would be really cool. Oh my god.
super special.
Wow.
Okay? If a guardsman is 6 foot, a space marine is 7 feet, a custodian is 8 feet. These are the giant defenders of Holy Terra, which is also Earth. Earth is Terra.
Oh,
Earth
Terra.
is Terra.
Yeah.
Themselves. These
Makes
are
sense.
the people that literally guard the Emperor's throne room. Hence, Custodes. These
Oh, okay. So they're basically the top of the food chain, right under the Emperor. Wow.
boys protect the Emperor's.
I'm also very, now that we're in this like place, I'm also, I thought that hit me. I'm very curious if there is like, is there more than war in Warhammer? Maybe it's a stupid question because it's Warhammer, but I'm like curious if there is like more layers to it. In like, is there politicians? Is there like a court of people that are like normal people and like things going on there, regular families, or are everyone warriors? I'm curious. Is there like a even broader like world there? I'm curious. Like you get some and you want more, you know? Wow.
Throne room at all times and are literally like handcrafted people. They're not humans brought up by a gene seer or something. These are all handcrafted super soldiers.
Whoa.
I think from a tube. These behemoth of men are like 8.5 feet tall and functionally immortal. They stand still, spear in hand, for hundreds of years without the need to sleep.
For hundreds of years, they just stand there ready? Wow.
Barely even the need to eat, watching over the throne room and every other area of Holy Terra for their entire purpose in life. And oh my lord,
what?
Are they terrifying. These custodians put Space Marines to shame.
No.
If you like to
For real? I am so like impressed of the Space Marines, and now he's gonna say that these golden pants are even better? These are putting the Space Marines to shame?
Your super soldiers, these are your super mega soldiers. One of these men can take on probably 3 Space Marines and most likely win. There are many different groups of custodians as well, like the Solar Watch, or there's also one of my personal favorite, the Aquilian Shield. The Aquilian Shield go out to seemingly unimportant individuals.
I feel like he shouldn't have had the pants there, the thing here. Like, if he took away that, would have been so much cooler. I don't know. Maybe I'm being rude.
Protect them because they believe that they are going to be doing something very important in their lives. For instance, let's say a regular guardsman gets the protection of this giant 8.5 foot tall golden god because that guardsman will end up becoming a general one day or something of that nature. The custodians work in mysterious ways and are almost always outnumbered but never outmatched. These people are pretty horrifying, both on the tabletop as well as in the lore. There are very few of them, however, and there's actually an extremely small amount of them.
Wow.
But that's kind of the point.
That makes them even cooler and more fantastic.
So many of these people that can have war gear this strong, weapons this powerful, and training this good. And the custodians have all 3 of it. For 100 years, I stood my watch amidst the somber shadows of the Sanctum Imperialis. I was still as a statue, but always ready, always attuned to dangers unseen. Days, months, years passed by in a frenzied blur beyond those walls, yet within, little moved and nothing changed. For 100 years, I did not but wait, yet had any threat appeared, I would have struck it down in a heartbeat. For 100 years, I stood my watch, and as it ends, I can tell you this: patience is a weapon. The custodians are the top.
Like, my shock face is just like pure shock face, you know? I can feel my mouth just being open, and I don't mean to have it open. This is just insane.
Dogs of the Imperium, and they hurt just that same way. Though I do want to discuss a little bit about the Sisters of Silence before we get out of here. Because the Sisters of Silence I also have a few of, and they're really fun, but they don't get enough attention. These kind of bald plume ladies are a whole group of pariahs, or also known as blanks. We'll be referring to them as blanks from now on. So as every mind is somewhat connected to the warp, these blanks are a genetic mutation that has it suppressed heavily. Because of that...
Also, they're not connected as well, and that is why they're blank. Wow. it is a benefit in of itself. That
Mind suppression.
I guess
normal people feel this weird, like uncomfortable nature when around them. When a Sister of Silence walks past them, you feel ill. You feel just uncomfortable and strange. So most of them don't actually live past childhood, because once they are birthed, they're, well, you know, killed. Or something.
It's like, oh, this baby is so uncomfortable. Let's just kill it. What the hell? That is so wild. But I guess then they're really uncomfortable. It's not like a little bit.
Young age, because they just emit a horrifying aura. These ladies, however, are guardians of the throne as well for more psychic threats. See, none of the custodians are psychers, so they have a difficult time dealing with major demons and other kinds of psychic phenomena. These sisters are extremely specialized in it, all of them taking a vow of silence as they don't speak, hence the term Sisters of Silence, but they communicate through hand gestures and things of that nature. But if there's a demon issue, if there's any kind of warp-based problem, the sisters are extremely adept at dealing with them, thanks to their blank gene. They normally work a lot of time with the custodians because they have to deal with.
And they're looking so epic. They're looking insanely epic.
Both kinds of threats, but they're not represented that way on the tabletop. In fact, they only have like one real model for them, which is very unfortunate. I hope they'll get some like news soon, because I think they should really be working together as it is that way in the lore. But hopefully we'll get there soon. But if we're talking about blanks, let's talk assassins.
What the hell? They look so cool.
It's been a long video. We're about to round it out. We got this and one more human thing, and then we're done. The assassins, though, the Officio Assassinorum, oh boy, these people are deadly. Yeah, they're called assassins, they should be, but oh man, these people will mess you up. So these are from the Officio Assassinorum, a very special organization. And
assassins, they're very interesting, man. Oh my god, I love when I play Skyrim. I'm always in the Dark Brotherhood, always. It's the first thing I do. It's so cool.
They are handpicked by the Grand Master of the Officio Assassinorum from the what was it called? Scola.
Maybe is the Dark Brotherhood just the thieves? Am I wrong now? I can remember, like, I'm bad at remembering, like, the names of things.
Progenium. It's basically an orphan school. Your parents got murdered by demons or something.
Orphan school?
You get sent to this and you get trained to be whatever. Tempestus Drop Troop, an Inquisitor, maybe even. Maybe you get a blank gene and you get thrown into the Sisters of Silence, or sometimes you just disappear. When you are taken, however, you go to one of 4 temples, because the Assassinorum works in the temple style of things. These temples are the Vindicare, Caluxus, Calidus, and Eversor temples. Let's start with the Vindicare. I'm far away. I've been sitting here for 3 weeks. Poof! The Vindicare Temple is the main sniper-based temple. Gigantic sniper rifles.
Those snipers doesn't look like a normal sniper. Holy shit.
All these assassins.
It's huge.
Their whole point is to be able to be in a spot and sit there, eye and scope, for weeks, waiting for their perfect target, taking people out from literal miles away after extremely long time periods. The Vindicare Temple is about precise, perfect aim. There have been reports of Vindicares being able to single out particular body parts from over 2-3 miles away. Temples in the head, the jugular, for instance, and been sitting there after weeks. And when they're ready, take that shot, time is done, packs them up. The Calidus Temple, however, is a lot more about shape-shifting and deviant It's mostly a female-based one, or at least it seems to be, and this allows a lot of body augmentation for certain individuals to be able to kind of transmorph themselves and infiltrate areas that are problems. These assassins will end up taking missions that take them years, 2-3 years.
Yeah, they're like super duper undercover. That is also very cool.
To infiltrate a heretical group and slowly work their way up, just to get...
They can find like the top dog.
Enough time to put a bullet into the main target's head and then escape unharmed. Or become the main target and sabotage...
That is even crazier, just being the top dog. Oh my god.
...from within. These are all completely about deception, mind tricks, polymorphing, and everything in between. And lots of drawings. Lots of drawings. The Eversor Temple. Just kind of disturbing one. The Eversor Temple is about when you don't want anything to come back alive, friend or foe. You want it all dead. An Eversor is psychogenically conditioned with just psychotherapy and psychological torture to only feel violence, hatred, and anger. It does the Clockwork Orange style of thing of just making you forced to watch never-ending pain and misery and psycho conditioning, I guess is the term. And then they pump you full of tons of psychedelic drugs.
What? Holy shit, I almost don't see the use case of someone like this. It's just too wild.
And they cryo-freeze you. And then they drop you in an area.
Oh, now I see. So, so they just basically make him totally insane. Like, not just insane, but like 100x insane. And just let him loose. Just do it. Just murder everything.
Where they just want to make sure everything is dead. And then you defrost, full of just all this insane, mind-boggling psychotherapy and psychedelic drugs, and you just go to town. Yeah, if you don't care if anyone comes back alive. You're like, all right, lost cause, send them in. Finally, there's the most bizarre temple.
Damn. I guess you almost have to like nuke that planet after he has been loose for a while though, because you don't want him to like figure out how to get to a different planet and murder all of those and then a different planet.
Cluxus Temple. The Cluxus assassins are feared even among the other temples. So that blank gene.
Did they save the best for last? It's just crazy because the last one felt like it was the best because it was just so mind-bogglingly. It was just so high creativity.
The people will go to the Cluxus Temple with this as well. And this is where they can harness that to be massively anti-psyker or even just anti-regular people. They are seen with extreme fear and distrust among many, many people. They are described by the Eldar, by quote, as being pure evil. Imagine that uncomfortable feeling from that blank gene I mentioned.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me.
And then imagine them being taught and given equipment to amplify it by 100. If normally regular people feel uncomfortable, now they are basically akin to being a siren wailing directly in your ear. And if you're a psyker, oh no, the sheer presence of a Cluxus assassin is enough for you to tear your skin off. You will rather gouge your eyes out and rip your nails off than even being near this person.
That much? Whoa. I don't know what to say. That is so much.
The Cluxus assassin is when you want psychers to literally lose their minds, and they will go on their knees and ask you to gun them down because it is a suitable choice over being anywhere near you.
But like, what? So they just have to appear? They don't even have to fight, basically? They're just so insanely like, ugh, if you're a...
motto of that temple is, that which is unknown and unseen commands the greatest fear. Now, for the tabletop, assassins aren't that special. You can call them in no matter what Imperium faction you are, and they do a lot of work for themselves, but at the same time, they're very specialized and require a lot of finesse. And they work the way you generally want them to, though. You want to cause some distortion and weird stuff, you take a Calidus. You want to just murder swaths of infantry and then blow up Eversor. You want to kill that one guy, Vindicare, and if you have a lot of psychers, Cluxus. It's a nice little, like, jack of all trades if you have a specific thing you want to kill. And
but everyone can have them? That feels weird. Shouldn't it only be like the humans, basically, not the orcs or whatever?
To choose which is really fun.
We haven't gotten to the orcs yet. I feel like, yeah, so far we have basically only talked about like the things from the warp or chaos, and then humans and mechas and stuff like that. So I guess he means all of this, maybe.
Now, let's talk about the last human faction. We can round this video out before we do part 2. The Inquisition. I have heard a little bit about these guys, and I think they're insanely brutal. That is, yeah. A lot to talk about with them.
Wow.
On the subject of heresy.
𝗦ci. Yeah, aren't they? Don't they have like a free pass to do whatever the fuck they want when it comes to like clearing out heretics?
Where do I even
You just
begin
do
with
what
the
you want to.
Inquisition? Take every secret police you can think of.
Damn.
The KGB, the Gestapo, the CIA, FBI, any of these kinds of people, and then mark it up by about 10 and give them the most power in the entire Imperium. No, you know what?
Damn.
How about this? This right here, it's not just a quote. This is the Imperial motto, the motto of the Inquisition. I apologize for my bad pronunciation. Innocentia nihil probat. Innocence proves nothing.
That is just so fucked up. Then there is like, innocence proved nothing. Fudge. There's no way. What? How? There's no words, basically.
The most powerful organization in the Imperium, the secret police, their #1 motto is innocence proves nothing. The Inquisition goes around like the secret police or like detectives to find issues in the Imperium. And they have different ordos depending on which one we're talking about. The Ordo Hereticus, the Ordo Xeno.
They look so cool also though. Like, these might be my favorites. If I'm gonna collect, maybe I'm gonna collect these, if that is a thing.
The Ordo Malleus, for instance, and a whole bunch of other ones. Hereticus is obvious, they deal with heretics. Xenos tries to find alien threats, and Malleus is demons. They all have different specializations in what they're trying to go for as this Inquisitor. And that's what they're called, Inquisitors. Each of them, as an Inquisitor, has their own free reign to do as they wish. They may have a ship and a crew. And
you just do what the hell you want, my boy. Or they have their own... So they're smaller groups? Wow.
Go out to find problems and interrogate people a lot. They are above the law in every department.
That is a cool spacecraft. That is a really cool spacecraft. Oh my god.
Over Space Marines. Now, the Space Marines might...
They're over Space Marines. Yeah, because they're the most powerful. I just didn't, like, sometimes I don't get 1 + 1 equals 2. I just don't do that in my head all the time. So they can, like, question and kill Space Marines then, probably. Just like, no, you're a heretic. Or, no, innocence, your innocence proved nothing. So I'm just gonna...
argue against them and stuff, and there might be a lot of blowback, but technically they are above them as Inquisitors. They are looking to investigate and figure out coups and cults and demonic incursions and possible Xenos issues like gene stealers or a new threat coming into an area.
But I guess, like, the immediate thought I got was that, okay, they're just wreaking havoc. They're just wreaking havoc throughout the entire human race or whatever faction, all the factions. But I'm guessing now, it might not be like this, but their main goal is to take the things that are wrong. Like, yeah, as he said, like if they're like stealing genetics or whatever, or doing stuff, so if you go with the flow, you shouldn't get killed by these guys, but they could just like murder you. But it's their main mission is to take the things that are like wrong-ish, but it's not like necessarily wrong for you and me, but like for the you know what I mean, maybe.
They're about learning that stuff and actually doing detective work. And memes aside, they're pretty good at it. The Inquisition having all of this power does make them a little bit power hungry and frantic sometimes. And yes, it is still a bad thing, but most of them are pretty good at their job. And they spend a lot of time being very diligent to make sure that all of these leads they follow are proper and correct. They're basically space detectives with just enormous power and sometimes a bit of a power complex. And we haven't even talked about Exterminatus yet. Exterminatus is deeming a planet unfit to be saved. I deem that this planet is demon infested, and taking it back will cost too many resources and is not worth it. I have now committed exterminatus on this planet. I will now sign the death warrant of an entire Imperium planet, as it is unfit to take and better to be destroyed than allow the enemy to hold it. This can mean saturation bombardment. This can mean cracking the planet's core and
cracking the planet's core. Okay, that is pretty hardcore.
Breaking it apart. Doesn't matter. Render this planet inhospitable to all life.
Wow.
Yes, the innocence proves nothing people are the only people who can choose this planet must die in its entirety.
That is wild power. I wonder who does the planet destroy? Can you guys tell me? I'm asking for a friend. Like who do they send in someone to do the planet, like crack the planet into or whatever they do? Or do they also wield the power to do it themselves? It's just so mind-boggling though. Wow.
Yeah, you're playing the villain. Now, it is memed a lot, but most Inquisitors are very rare to do Exterminatus. Exterminatus is a very crazy thing. There's only so many worlds that you don't want to destroy all of them.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, yeah, do you want to, like, just live in space and never land again?
Now, naturally, with the memes aside, there are some people who are a little bit rough on this one. But most Inquisitors generally don't like to do Exterminatus a ton, but it is an option they have. And it's a crazy option when you think about it. Secret Police Inquisition are unfortunately not represented on the tabletop very much. You generally kind of put one in your army if you feel like it. You have a couple special options there and some side content, but they're not really fleshed out very well, and personally they need a lot.
That kind of sucks, because I did want to, like, collect these. They seemed like insanely cool. The figurines so far that he has shown of them are not as cool as the artwork. I'm sorry.
More stuff put in there, and they really need a lot more effort put into them, and they're not quite where I want them to be. Overall, the Inquisition makes for a lot of the best storytelling as well, because it's a little bit hard to talk about a big story of a whole bunch of Space Marines killing something. Right, it's just a big battle story. It's not as interesting. Having that,
you can get like an in-depth, detailed of one situation from one person's point of view or something. It makes sense that you can get like really good stories out of it.
Intrigue in that.
I want to read books about this as well now. Just like dive into it. Maybe is there audiobooks of this?
Moral dilemma that an Inquisitor has makes for a lot better media. And honestly, the more people do it, I think it's better, because then it adds a little more humanity to the Warhammer horrible, horrible grim darkness. And wow, we just finished the humans, all right? Come back for part 2 when we talk about Chaos and Xenos.
Hell yeah.
Because we got to talk about the 4 Chaos Gods and all the Chaos Marine Legions and the Tau and the Necrons and the Orcs, and oh boy, we got a lot.
Oh my god.
I'll see you in part 2.
Wow. Okay, so we are for sure gonna check out part 2. Whenever part 2 is out on my YouTube page, I'll try and update this video with like a thumbnail kind of thing at the end of the video. I'm not sure if I can do it in the middle, so just make sure to check that out when it's out, because this is so intriguing. I am gonna check out part 2. It's just a matter of like time. We did it on a Saturday at like the start of the day, just to get time to do it. Holy shit, this was good. Thank you so much for sharing this with me. Thank you to was it 𝗦ci𝗰𝗶𝗹𝘀. Thank you, 𝗦ci, for making this. This was just amazing. You are really talented, and you're really good job. You're funny as well. Your video was very funny and cool, and like, I'm at the lack of words. All the factions are just, or like all the factions inside of the human race here are just so cool. And you start with something insane, and then you just like, okay, but this is a more insane thing that are even bigger or stronger or more creative or fantastic than the previous thing. It is just wild. It is wild. I think so far, let's see, my favorite one of these, it could be the Assassins, because it is just so insanely cool to just like let my mind just fly around in the thoughts of the different assassins, how that would look in kind of like a movie format. Just dropping one of those insanely psyched out, like crazy assassins that want to kill everything or infiltrate. Also, the Inquisitioners, they were really cool. The Mechanus, that are like praying to machines. They were really cool as well. This is so good. Oh, thank you guys so much for for saying that I should watch this one. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a multi-parter. We'll see. But thank you so much. I appreciate you. I hope you want to subscribe and like. Leave a comment. Maybe you could answer my friend. I had a lot of questions from my friend throughout the video. But see you later, guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe. See you. Bye-bye.